This is Terry.
Review.
He's gonna film today.
This is Igor. We're gonna film him.
Welcome to Touch the Clutch. There's no clutch in this, but let's skip that. This is my 2013 Audi A5. I had it for 3 years now. Legally for 4 months because it was registered in my dad's name, but let's not talk about that either. Okay, so I run no front license plates because I wanted to sell this car, and then I just like how it looks, so I never put it back on. Let's also like not talk about that. Okay, so what was this car is a stage 1 integrated engineering. Makes 254 horsepower. Feels okay. Like you count to 5, it goes to 100. I have a Firestone Firehawks on it. Like, as you guys know, these tires are pretty good, to be honest. When I bought it, had Chinese crap on it. I ran it for a year, went to a track once, destroyed them completely. The story was like this: I come to a mechanic to change into my winters, and like I see he threw out the Chinese ones, and I'm like, yo, those are like 1 year old, why'd you throw them out? He's like, go look at them. I go up, I look at the sidewall, and the sidewall inside of the tire where you cannot see, completely unglued, and there was a bubble. So basically overheated on the track and just like unglued. So like they're unusable. Then I bought another Chinese set because I thought it was a fluke. And then I hit a pothole in our like nice roads in Toronto, and I got a bump like within a week of owning the new set of Chinese. And I was like, okay, never again. So I went to these, and so far I've ran them for like 1.5 years, like 4 track days, no issues at all. Like so far, best tire for its money. Regarding the tint, also a long story. First I had a 50s here, 10s and 5s, but I had a rock in my windshield, and I didn't want to change it because I didn't want to change the tint plus the windshield. But then when I was deciding to sell my car, I changed the windshield, and I was like, no, I'm gonna keep it. So I put 30% tint on this now, so it's 30, 10, and 5. It's pretty dark, you can't see. Maybe you'll see a video of me driving at night. It will be basically a black screen.
Cut to a clip, you driving at night.
It takes 91 octane. I usually get Costco gas. I know people say it has ethanol and stuff, but I don't know. Like right now it has SO gas, which people say is better, but I don't know. Because going back to why I'm talking about the fuel, because my engine blew up like a year ago. I overheated it here in Centennial, and people are saying it's because it's tuned and cheap gas. So I don't know, maybe it's what, but it was eating a lot of oil regardless. So I did a rebuild last winter. It cost me like $6,500 total. Car was off the roads for 3 months. Okay, now moving back to the car, some personal touches. My ex was annoying me and I was backing up. I hit a neighbor. Nothing happened to the neighbor. He had a truck, like a metal thing. It was really cold outside, so instead of bending in, it just cracked the paint off. And this bumper was repainted. I noticed that when I was detailing the car, so I guess it's cheap paint. I don't know, I'm thinking about debadging it, but it would look nicer with dual exhaust, with a side exhaust. It's like iffy, I'm not sure. This car has markings everywhere. Show them the markings. This is basically not a good sign, because this means this car is from Montreal, where the roads are shit and there's a lot of salt. But it was marked for like non-stealing, like so people don't steal and sell the parts. But I was told it's a Montreal car, so I guess could have more issues with suspension, which I have, but it's okay. Road rash on the tires, on the rims, was not me parking, so I'm not a bad like parker, but I did hit it when I was like doing other stuff. Not parking.
Other stuff.
What else is in this car? Like I have spacers in the back. I have 17 millimeters in the back, 15 in the front. We installed it just like last month. Some people say spacers are not good for the suspension because it increases, I guess, the leverage that the suspension, like the forces of a bump are greater on the suspension than without it, but it is what it is. It looks better. I'm not planning to lower this car yet because the roads in Toronto are really bad right now, and it's my daily driver. Brakes are all stock except for the front brake pads. I put Brembos, so it sounds nice. It does create a lot of brake dust, as you can tell. There's like, I have to wash it every single week for it to look normal. Review. So basically every single part of the car has these markings. You can see the tail lights, the rims. Don't show that one, that's one scratch, don't show that one. Okay, this one. Then inside the engine I can show the so everything is marked. Like this part, like the cover has it scratched on. This part has it scratched on. It's just everywhere. I guess prevents the car, but I don't remember these numbers, so they steal it. I don't remember them, so they'll just sell it. Plus I don't think many people know, so they'll buy a part with it regardless. I don't know how it helps, but it's okay. Then more damages here. This is touched up with like some paint that I got from Audi. They were asking me, what's the color of this car? I was like, no, they told me it's brilliant black. I'm like, no, it's chipped black. Look at this. Show them this. This is already like touched up. This was repainted, but yeah, it's not good. The whole car is suffering from rock chips. So here I hit a wall, like in a parking lot. I thought I'm like passing the wall, but I was like, no, didn't pass. Luckily it didn't damage this, only the bumper, so the bumper has to be resprayed anyways. Here on the back, I don't know if I'm gonna ever sell this car. Please don't look at this, because this car was lady driven and never had an accident. But now going back to the unbuyers, this was hit by a bus. So I basically tried to squeeze between the bus and the cone. I was going really slow and he didn't want to let me in. So instead of like stopping, letting me in, he just like hit me. It was still my fault because I crossed the line, I guess. But it was really slow and it was bent in fully. Like you can see the tire from the top. I got a quote for repainting this whole side. They told me 1,300. And I was like, oh, can you do dentless repair? And he's like, no. And I went to a guy in North York, some Jewish guy. He's like, yeah, 600 bucks. And he just like put his umbrella up, 8 hours, and looks pretty decent. Like that's what he promised me. He was like, it'll look 95 to 90%. So you can see just a little bit of warped paint there. But compared to it was fully bent in. I can add a picture in the video for you to see. I think for the outside, that's pretty much it. Like what I would change to this car right now as is, if I had like gonna have a project, I would change the front grille to the, I guess the RS5 one with no like fake badging, but I would keep the chrome. I know it's a controversial thing, people want to remove it, but I actually think this car looks better with it. I don't know, what do you think, Derek?
Yeah, I think it looks nice.
Because like with the chrome, like you can see the outline of the window, and like this, like just if you black it out, it just hides the face of the car. Like the car becomes very plain. But with this, it looks like a coupe. The front is like aggressive. I don't know, I like it. So if I get the RS5, I'll still get a chrome, just black inside. And then after that, I would tint the front lights and the rear ones, just slightly but glossy, so it's not.
It's like smoked lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But smoked but glossy, not like a matte finish.
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah, and then these, I would change the lights to white LEDs. Maybe even change this like plastic because it's so damaged from rock chips that like it's literally, or polish it. Maybe I'll just try to polish it.
Yeah, you can probably polish it.
We can try taking it off, changing the light, polish it, and see. And I think that's the only things I would do like visually to this car, because everything else, I don't think this car is worth it like financially. Like it's not a super expensive car, but so like putting crazy Wasson wheels worth more than the car is no point. Yeah, let's move on to, I guess, to the interior of this vehicle. This is what I like them. Actually, I like everything about this car. Like, honestly, except for if this had a 3-liter, I would not even consider selling it ever. Well, unless I get us something super nice. So the interior is typical for 180,000 kilometers, but for 180,000, like this held up super well. Like I've seen Mercedes C-classes with, shout out to Mikola, his C-class with 100,000 kilometers literally looks like worse than this, like a lot worse. Like the seat is ripped. It's just like, I don't know, this car was actually really nicely done. Everything interior works except for one volume button, but it's a common issue in older cars. Like I guess it's either dust gets there or, so it's like not linear. Like if you turn it, sometimes it'll go like 5 up, sometimes it'll go 1 up. Like it's weird. Yeah, so the interior is a standard 2013 Audi. What I really like is the flat bottom steering wheel. It adds to the driving experience. There's no Apple CarPlay or anything, but I always have my phone regardless with Waze and stuff like this. Here, what people are really noticing is this coin holder. I don't know why, but every single person that gets in this car, they're like, what is this? And I don't know, like I've never used it, but I do have some coins I can show how it works. This is like, I think this is pointless because your coins are just gonna like drive, like rattle, and I don't know, it's pointless to me. But then what don't like about this interior is that there's no USB ports anywhere, like not a single one. Like I have this this is prehistoric, but like that's it. Like I have nowhere to charge my also, if somebody can tell me what this is, like I'll send you $10. Really, like I have no clue what this does, where it goes, and how to use it. I haven't seen any videos on it, so maybe we'll figure it out later. We'll talk about this black box later in the video when I'm in Texas where it's legal. It's always going to be off, I guess, for our drive, but in Texas I use it. Then here I have a valved exhaust in this car. You have like a switch. I'll talk more about it in a full video. So I can open it, it becomes louder, and then I can close it and it becomes quiet. Yeah, my turbo makes that rattling noise. It's not the turbo, I think it's the, what is it called? Do you know? The wastegate?
Oh, wastegate rattle?
Wastegate, like, yeah, it just rattles.
Wastegate rattle.
But when I was doing the rebuild, my guy said like, we can't just change the part, you have to change the whole turbo, and I was like, yeah, there's no point. I wouldn't upgrade yet to a KO4 because I don't think this engine, like the 2-liter, is a good platform for tunability. So I'm just gonna leave it at stage 1. I think if even that is too much for this car, for this engine. It's a 2-liter, where they slap everywhere. It's not made for racing. That's why we'll see other cars on our channel that will actually track, race, because those ones are, well, not built for it, but we'll make them built for it. Yeah, so here in the interior, like me and Terry talked about changing these lights for our videos. Also, I think one of them blew out. Also, like this piece, I don't know what the fuck it does, but like it comes off like way too easy. I think like a couple of brackets are broken, but yesterday I just noticed it's like loose.
Yeah, it's probably just clips.
Yeah, but they're broken, I think. So
yeah, you can get new clips.
Carbon fiber fires.
Carbon fiber.
I don't know, everything else, like it wears out really evenly. There's no like something that's like worn off more than anything. So it's ages really well. Like the quality of this car, I would say, is top notch. Even though the engine had to rebuild, still I would still recommend everybody this car in terms of its reliability, because if you drive normally, do the oil changes, not overheat it, like it'll last like years and years. Then we'll talk about I guess the feel of this car. There's like different dynamic modes. We'll talk about that in the driving video. It really, like the most, what do you notice is the steering wheel is stiffening it up. The suspension 50-50, engine 50-50, you don't really notice it. But for the steering wheel you do, which is really nice. I like a stiff steering wheel where it's not so light to turn. But I do use the comfort mode a lot, to be honest, now when I work more. In the mornings, just all comfort, quiet exhaust. And before, when I was younger, it's just loud, stiff. Now it's slightly different. So when I got this car, I was actually looking at manual options, but when I got it, I wasn't like a super car guy, I guess. I wasn't into cars that much. So I looked at one manual car, and it was like you could see it was like clapped. It looked beaten up in the garage without even driving it. The guy didn't want to test drive it in the rain. He was like, no, it's raining. I'm like, okay. So this one was really nice. It was owned by like a guy in his 40s. What I've looked at, like, as stock as it sounds, I found some of like his old papers and I saw his Facebook. So he looked like he lived in a rich neighborhood in Toronto. So it was kind of safe. I was happy with my purchase. What else? Like this car, I wish it had a oil temperature and boost gauge, because if you warm up the car in the morning, a lot of people think, oh, my coolant is up to temperature, but your oil isn't. And Terry right here, he thinks his coolant is the operating temperature, but yeah, you're in other cars I can see like it's a big delay. It's like 5 to 10 minute delay of oil, and now I just wait 10 minutes before going over 3,000 RPMs ever. It's just I know that my oil will be warmed up by then in a small engine. I do like this push key thing, because like I always know that I didn't forget my key somewhere. I don't have to like sit in it in my pocket, so I don't mind this. There's nothing really I would change about this interior for 2013. I think it's really nice. Even for now, if they made this whole center digital but still kept this analog, this added CarPlay, I think they could still even sell this interior in 2022, and people will still look at it as a good car. For example, an A3 or A4 or even an A5, like people would still buy it. Like if it looked identical, just new materials and updated technology, like I think it would still work.
Yeah, so it's 1, 2, 1, 3.